Hi, hello, and welcome to episode 20 of the Knitting Esquire, a YouTube channel all about my knitting and crafting adventures. I have a lot to share. Well, enough to share. It's been a little bit. Things have been busy as normal, but I'm excited to show you some finished objects, some works in progress, and a couple of acquisitions that I've picked up. So let's go ahead and dive right in. My name is Candace, and I am coming to you from a small town just outside of Orlando, where I live with my husband and our two boys. I am an attorney by day and a knitter always. So you can find me over on Instagram as Candace Sue ESQ Knits. I always forget that. I should know it by heart, but I forget it. And over on Ravelry as the Knitting ESQ. I will have all of the places that you can find me down below in the description box, so go ahead and check that out if you're interested in following me over on one of those platforms. And I will also make sure that all of my show notes are listed below as well. I will highlight all of the makers and designers that I talk about today, as well as any other fun tools and accessories and where you can go to pick those up. So without further ado, I will share what I'm wearing today. This is a cowl. It is called the Party of Five cowl. And I think I knit this maybe 3 years ago. I believe it was during COVID. Actually, I know it was during COVID because this colorway is by Olive and To You here out of the Orlando area. And this colorway was a mystery Bridgerton color back when season 1 was released. So I thought I would spruce up my outfit today and wear this lovely, the pattern was so easy to memorize, but it also is because the lace work in it is actually really light. So even though it's like, I don't know, 78 degrees out right now, which is fantastic for February, it is not always conducive to wearing knitwear. So I decided to throw this on today. It's nice and cozy, but also not like sweaty, hot dyeing. And that's also probably just the yarn is phenomenal. I think this was just on their basic sock base, but they have some really cool names for their bases. So I don't know specifically which base that would have been on. So if I can find it, I will link that as well in my show notes. So I have a couple of objects that are finished. So why don't we go into finished objects? Last time I showed these, I believe they were still a work in progress, but I finally finished my Moana socks, which were making me so happy. And so this is the Moana colorway by Mandy's Makings, and this is on her standard sock base, which is a 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon base, and voila, they are done and perfect. My lighting is not the best, so that's kind of, let's see, there we go. That's probably pretty close. Yeah, that's pretty close to the standard color. It's kind of just like a light, I don't know, they remind me of the conversation hearts from Valentine's. So not only are they Moana, but they're kind of Valentine-y looking socks. And I just love the orange. Like this is totally where like I see Moana is with this orange. So standard sock knitting for me, this is the vanilla socks by the Crazy Sock Lady using a 9-inch circular needle. I always use US 1 2.25 millimeter Addy Turbo Rockets. They are phenomenal. If you haven't seen them or used them before, one of the needles is just maybe a half inch or an inch longer than the other needle. So whichever your dominant hand is, you're holding that longer needle. And for me, it makes it so it's much easier to continuously knit in the round that way. My hands don't get tired because I'm not like having too little of a needle to hold on to. And so that is just my preferred needle. They still have them on Amazon. The sock pattern is a 9-inch circular, but the Addies post them as 10-inch circulars. So that is what I use, is the Addie 10-inch turbo rockets. So they work perfect. And I always knit the size small, which is 56 stitches around. So you can definitely do a small size on the 10-inch. It doesn't hurt that circular circumference. This is done with 2x2 ribbing for 20 rounds at the top into the standard stockinette here with a heel flap and gusset. And then just a standard decreasing rounded toe. It's all followed on her pattern, and actually I've memorized it now because I've knit them so many times. So this is my first pair of finished socks to show for you today. However, this is pair number 2 for 25 of 2025. I started those on January 10th and finished them on January 23rd. Unfortunately, it's just taking me a little bit longer right now to finish socks and knitting. Just because, well, I'm just so tired. I just can't find the motivation at night sometimes, and so I just don't even pick up my needles. But I'm also just so busy that it's hard to find it in. So my husband and I, I think I mentioned this maybe a few episodes ago, picked up a hobby together where we are golfing. And so a lot of our Saturdays and Sunday mornings are spent golfing, which is fantastic. I love the time and I love to do that with him, but it does take away a little bit from knitting. However, I probably shouldn't be sitting on the couch and knitting all day on Sunday. So it does get me up and moving and outside. So I am really loving that hobby with him. Okay, and my final finished object, now that I'm here, I'm afraid that this is going to be a shorter episode because I don't have that many works in progress right now. This next pair of finished socks, I literally just finished them this morning. And so they had been just kind of an ongoing project for me. And so now I just don't have a whole lot on my works in progress section. So hopefully I can develop some of your interest here. Maybe this will just be a little bit of a shorter catch up for us this time. So this pair of socks that I've finished is part of the subscription from Row 1 Minis. Well, it's Row 1 yarn, but it's a mini subscription that I decided I wanted to try out this year. And I have some plans that I'm going to make with my leftovers, so I'll kind of talk about that as well. But I decided that with the set of minis that come each month from Row 1, I am going to make a pair of Scrappy socks. So I will have 12 pairs of Scrappy socks that represent each month. The colors come in. So I thought that would be a fun way to kind of showcase the yarn and wear it. Since my next project that I'm going to do with the leftovers will be a longer term project. But again, these are vanilla socks by the Crazy Sock Lady. And these are just so great. They remind me a little bit of like a Regia in their style. So I'm just really loving that. And yeah, that's a good showcase right there. I did end up running out of some leftover yarn here that I was using. So this yarn is a little bit of a different yarn. It's kind of a light pink compared to the heel here, which is a little bit more of a neutrally like I don't know, off-white cream color. That's okay. They're supposed to be scrappy socks, and that's what they are. So again, 20 rounds for the 2x2 ribbing. I do 60 rounds, which is actually perfect because it's 6 rows for each color because you get 10 colors as part of the monthly subscription. So 6 rounds each here. And then what I did is I calculated how long it takes for me to get through the gusset, as well as what it would take for me to get down to the length of the toe that I like. And so what that meant is I did 8 rows for the first 3 colors here to get through my gusset. And then I did 7 rows of the next sets of colors until the last color right here at the toe, where I did eight rows again. So that gets it to my perfect size that I love my socks to be. I am a pretty significant negative ease sock wearer. I like them to be tight. I definitely do not like it when the cuff like falls down the leg. And so I always go with 56 stitches, and I'm a little bit of a tighter knitter on the ones. So it does give me some good negative ease on socks. And then I just used the contrast minis for the heels, the toes, and the cuffs, which looks great. I love them a lot. So again, these were knit on the Addy Turbo Rockets 10-inch circulars, size 1 or 2.25 millimeter. And this maker was for the month of January, Pearl Talk. So that is the maker of this set of yarn. That's another fun thing about row 1 is that you get to try a new dyer every month. And so you'll never have the same dyer, at least for the year, I believe. And then you get all of these fun, funky colorways that come with it. So I started these on January 7th and I finished them today, which is February 7th. And this makes pair number 3 for 25 of 2025. And so I am excited to get to wear these. These are a lot of fun to knit, just 6 rounds and then to the next color. So there's a lot of there was a lot of weaving in of ends, but I don't mind. I just did it as I went so that by the time I got to the end of the toe and was casting off, binding off, casting off. I think you can use them interchangeably, but as I was kitchenering the toe, that was the last part of weaving in ends that I had to do because it was already done. And so my future self thanked my past self for being smart on that. So that wraps up my finished objects for today. So let's go ahead and talk about my works in progress. I really only have one since I finished up those row 1 scrappy socks today. Luckily, the next month, so the February month, has arrived. It came yesterday in the mail, so I'll show that, and I fully intend to get those cast on this weekend. But for now, let me grab the ball band for this one. It's right behind me, so I can talk about it. So for now, I started, and why did I start these? I think we went to a movie. No. We were doing something, and I was like, I don't have I was working on the scrappy socks, and so that's really hard. It must have been a movie. It was a movie. We went and took the boys to see the new Dogman movie last week. And when we did that, I was like, oh, shoot, I don't have anything to knit on. And quite frankly, I didn't really want to see the movie. It was fine. They loved it. It was fine. Because I would have to switch colorways on those scrappy socks. So I decided that I needed to cast on another sock. And so I quickly knitted the cuff, and I do have a half finished object here. So this is sock number 1. Oh my gosh. This is so good. It's even better on camera, which doesn't happen very often, but oh my, this is fantastic. I shared this yarn as part of my acquisitions in episode 19. I acquired this yarn when I went to Distaff Day here in Orlando. But the yarn is by String Theory Colorworks, and this is a local yarn dyer. This is on her Photon base, and let me get a little bit close because you can see the stellina in this, and it is all throughout, even in that black and white speckled area. It is heavily stellinaed, and that is because this base is well, it was right here. Yeah. It is 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and 5% stellina. Maybe the other one was 10% stellina that I have. I thought this was the more stellina-y one. Nope. Definitely the other one is it is right in this area right here on my wall, that one. So you can't see it very well, but anyway, what's really cool is on her ball band where it shows you the colorway. It also shows you what the stripe pattern should be. So you can see that it says 10 rows black with white, 5 rows of all of the other colors that are in there. And that's exactly what happened. So that's, I mean, perfect. You can even see in the cuff, it's 4 colors. So 5 rows each to get my 20-row cuff. And then into the rest. And then I had a leftover, this is Eeyore by Dying Wishes Yarn, is this gray color from the Eeyore socks that I had, or it was rather boggy and sad was the actual set, but the gray was called Eeyore, and I just thought that it was a good contrast in there for the heel. But then I kept on all the way through the heel or all the way through the toe and the cuff with the yarn patterning, which actually works out perfect because you can see that I ended with yellow at the toe, and the next color after yellow is green, which is what this cuff started with. So the next sock that I started just this morning, because I just bound off this I actually got a lot of, I was on a work trip this week, and so I knit most of this on the plane to Canada and on the plane back from Canada. So in fact, I think when I left for Canada, I think I was at this green stripe, and so I didn't have any time to work on it other than plain knitting. So that's 6 hours of knitting right there. 6 hours and, well, a little bit more, right? With the heel, or with this part up here is probably another 2 hours. It takes me about 45 minutes to do the full cuff. So yeah, probably about 2 hours of that knitting there. So that was the Dogman movie and plain knitting. Got one sock done. Started this in the car this morning. I am almost done with the cuff. I'll work on this evening and the rest of this weekend and hopefully get through this sock. So, again, 20 rounds, 2x2 rib, 60 rounds for the leg. And this is the vanilla sock pattern by the Crazy Sock Lady on my US 1 2.25 millimeter Addy Turbo Rocket needles. I started this on January 30th, which was last week, Thursday, and hopefully I will have a pair of socks here shortly. So I'm looking forward to getting through that. I have some great yarn coming Actually, I just got notification today that it is in Florida, so it'll probably be here tomorrow from Mama Just Knits that I'm really excited about. She has this fantastic Valentine colorway. I believe the main skein, I think, is Valentine or something like that. And the mini is called Cherry Chapstick, and it is so good. I can't wait to get it. I had commented on it that it was so good when she posted a picture, and then a few days ago she said, "Hey, I refreshed this in my shop and it's there." And I said, "You're evil," and then immediately purchased the sock set. So thanks for your influence, Jess, but I love your colorways and your yarn, so thank you for that as well. That is legit my only whip right now. I was participating in a test knit with on her Instagram handle is Leah Loves to Knit. She does a lot of she hosts the Gilmore Girls knitathon in November. But she has released today, I believe, her Heart and Soul sock pattern. And I got through the cuff and the color work portion all the way to the heel. And once I got to the heel, I stopped because when I tried it on, the color work portion didn't fit me. And this has absolutely nothing to do with the pattern. I went up a needle size. I did a size 2 for the color work. Now, as I prefaced before, I'm a very not tight. I don't think that I knit that tightly as a sock knitter, but I am a significant negative ease sock knitter. And so that's why I do the 56 stitches. And I should have known when I offered to test her pattern, knowing that it was color work, I should have asked to do the size medium, which is the 64 stitches, and just knit in my standard needle size, because then it probably would have fit over my heel. And it still would have felt tight because I could have gone down to like a size 0 for the stockinette portion of it. However, I didn't really think through it. And so I did a size small, which is the 56 stitches, and did everything as should be with the size 1, went up to a size 2 for the color work. And the pattern is fantastic. It's very cute. I highly recommend you go and check it out. I think you'll love to knit it. It's so Valentine-y. It's perfect and it's quick. I got through the color work in like an hour. It was fantastic. But shame on me for choosing the wrong size. So I messaged Leah and apologized for that, that I did not finish, just knowing that it wasn't going to fit. So again, that had nothing to do with her and her pattern. It's very well written. I think there was some minor notes that I gave in the pattern itself, because the rest of the sock after the heel is a heel flap and gusset and then just stocking it all the way down. So Leah, I apologize in person here on YouTube, kind of in person. But your pattern is fantastic. So if you have the opportunity to go and check that out, I highly recommend it. She's a great pattern writer. Because I had stopped that sock and I just finished the row 1 Scrappy socks, and you saw where I was on my other whip, that's what I have. So today though, well, I got home late last night, but I think my row 1 minis came in yesterday. So they were there waiting for me this morning, which was exciting. So this month, the dyer is, if you do the row 1 mini subscription, which I highly recommend, it's so much fun, you get like a cute little paper here that tells you all about the dyer. It's called Stunning String Studio, and this is on their Smashing Sock Base, which is a 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon base. It still is in its plastic, so I'll try not to crinkle it as much as possible. I am going to show it now. I think they do a good job at shipping all around the same time. But if you haven't gotten yours and you subscribe, I'm going to show this, and don't let it be a spoiler to you. So here it is. 3, 2, 1. So there's all of these great colors in here. And so I am very much looking forward to getting another pair of Scrappy vanilla socks out of it. And so what I ended up doing is, with my leftovers from the other pair, I just stuck them in a little Ziploc bag here and labeled it. And so this is the 10 from last month, from January. And I'm going to add these to my Cozy Memory blanket by Shelley Dupont. And I have two of them going. I have the Harry Potter one, and then I have the one that has like the My Little Ponies in it, and I was adding my Monsters Inc. to that one as well. So I'm going to add these to that one since it's a little bit of a hodgepodge. I think this will be some great colors to add. And then I don't have anything left for the rest of them, so maybe I'll pass them along to a friend and they can knit something scrappy with it too. So that's what I have from Row 1 Mini. So that was kind of, well, it was an acquisition, but it was also my future whip that is to come. So that's all that I have for whips right now. So let's go ahead and move into some procurements. My monthly yarn came from Mandy's Makings. I am doing her Princess monthly yarn. It's not a subscription, but she posted at the beginning of every month, and I think we have 2 left. So the month of January was Rapunzel. And if you think of Tangled, this is like spot on. So that is beautiful, and I can't wait to knit that one up. And then back in, it must have been October. Yeah, I think I ordered these in October, but these are the last 2 from a homespun house for the Happy Birthday Hogwarts Yarn Club. And so I ended up getting the colorways Serious. So this is for Serious Black. And Voldemort. You know, I don't think I've really had, and maybe there's a colorway in the Dragon Horde yarn and Yarn Cafe Advent boxes that's like Voldemort inspired, but this just is great. I'm excited to knit this one up. So I have 4 of the Happy Birthday Hogwarts colorways, and this is the last 2 of the 4 that I have. This yarn is a 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. It is so soft and luxurious. Kind of reminds me of Ruby and Roses when I was like explaining that yarn. This is just really soft and squishy yarn. So that's it for procurements for me. Life stuff. Look, I told you this was going to go faster than I thought it would. Life stuff. Since the last time we spoke, I've traveled a bit for work. I've got some more traveling coming up for work. The boys' school is just, school. We're getting through it. What are we? 1 month in. Spring break is in 6 weeks. We have a cruise scheduled for that in the middle of March, so I'm really looking forward to that. My husband are just enjoying our weekends together where we go out and golf. We usually do like 9 on Saturday, and we try and get in a round of 18 on Sunday. And we have golf lessons on Sunday morning together, which is just a whole lot of fun. And basically, we're just doing the day-to-day stuff when I try to squeak in some knitting here and there wherever I can. And I'm still trying to figure out, sometimes Friday mornings work for me. Right now, the boys are at soccer and football practice. And so I just said, hey, can I stay and podcast? And so my husband took the kids, and so I could get this done and share with you. But Super Bowl is on Sunday. I'm disappointed with the teams. I was hoping for a different result, but it is what it is. Next year, I guess. And so, yeah, that's life in a nutshell right now. I wish I had a more exciting life, which is why I find it hard. Like, I really want to try and do like a vlogmas or a vlog like for a month, whatever. But we are very like schedule oriented, kind of habitual to a fault family. Things just need to, we have this and this and this. And so I just feel like it's so repetitive that there's just not a lot of content there. We don't go out a ton on the weeknights or anything like that. So we usually have sports or drum lessons or tuba lessons or whatever the kids are doing. We're usually running them around. So that's just the stage of life that we're in, and it's great. Things are going great, but just it's not like terribly exciting. So now that I am rambling, I will go ahead and wrap this up. I appreciate you sticking with me. I hope that you enjoyed what I had to share today. If you did, please remember to like and subscribe and ring the bell so you do get notifications. I haven't quite figured out my scheduling on this yet, so they are a little bit here and there. So that notification reminder will always let you know when a new episode is posted, and that always makes YouTube happy. So thanks for spending your time with me. I know that it's precious, and I'm glad that I could bring a little bit of yarn and happiness into your world. So I will wrap this up, and I will see you next time. Bye.